Hey everybody, so I recently went to go and see Wicked, the movie, not the musical, the actual movie. And I wasn't too keen on going, if I'm completely honest, because I'm not a massive Ariana Grande fan. Um, I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to musicals. And when musicals have been made into films, I'm not always so keen on the casting of just putting well-known names into the movie. I like to kind of see the Broadway and West End stars because, I just think that, well, generally their voices suit the songs much better. And I kind of go, these people have really worked hard to get where they are, and actually why shouldn't they be the ones in the movie singing the songs? So I'm not a massive Ariana Grande fan, and I really wasn't sure how I felt about her playing Galinda. Now, I was very lucky that when I went to go and see Wicked, the first time I went to go see Wicked, it had Adam Garcia in it, and it also had Idina Menzel. So, I mean, you couldn't really beat that. They were pretty fantastic in the roles of Fiyero and Elphaba. So, yeah, I wasn't really massively keen on going to see it, but I thought to myself, right, do you know what? I'm going to put any bias aside. I'm going to go and see it and make a decision, having watched it. And I have to say, I was really pleasantly surprised. I mean, when we got there, my son said to me, "Oh yeah, it's 2 hours 40 minutes," and I went, "What? Sorry, 2 hours 40 minutes?" And he went, "Yeah, and it only goes up to Defying Gravity." And I was like, "Oh, good God, this is going to be long." But actually, do you know, it didn't really feel that long. It went very quickly, and actually yeah, didn't feel like they'd really laboured the point as such. So looking at all the kind of set designs and everything they had, it was phenomenal. And there's a really good documentary actually on Sky about the making of it, that a few of the people, a few of the characters, so Cynthia, Ariana, Jeff Goldblum, Jonathan Bailey, all of those are actually talking in it. I think it's just at the end of filming that they do a little bit of a documentary. And it it's not, obviously it's not CGI that they're using, it's real sets that they've built, and I think that's great. It gives it a really good feel to the piece, because it must be so soulless sometimes just acting with a CGI screen. So to actually be completely immersed in the area where you're performing must be fantastic. So the sets that you have, I think were great. They're just so interesting, dynamic to look at, so colourful, and you really did get the feeling that you were in those places. I think one of my sons actually said that he didn't like the fact that they spent so long in the university in one place. I didn't mind that so much, to be honest, because like I said, I thought the set was very, very interesting, and I loved the way that they used the sets with the choreography. So the choreography itself was stunning. I really, really liked it. Really, really creative. There's one point when they're at the university library and they've kind of got these rotating, I don't know what you'd call them. They're like, well, they're bookshelves, but they're big rotating barrels, so to speak, and they're doing lots of choreography. So they got lots of parkour people in to actually do a lot of the stunts on those bits, and it's really, really clever, visually really interesting. So yeah, I loved the choreography in it, right the way throughout. There's a really great moment when they're at the Emerald City with choreography, but I don't really want to give too much away about that one, but it's definitely something to look out for, and die-hard fans of Wicked will absolutely love it. And yeah, so set wise, I thought it was very, very interesting, very dynamic, something there for everybody. Their room again was just great, felt like it was in a bit of a turret, very mystical, very whimsical, very storybook like. Everything felt very storybook like, and like it was coming off the pages and coming to life that way. It felt like kind of Oz, that kind of land. So I really liked the set, and like I said, the choreography, really loved that as well. And I can't believe that actually they were singing some of the songs live, like defying gravity whilst she was also being flung around on a hoist, with all the acrobatics and everything they were doing. And of course they were doing a lot of the stunts live themselves, and that's what they wanted to do. So yeah, stunning visually to look at in lots of different senses. Casting, do you know what? I did really like the casting. I did really like the casting. I loved Michelle Yeoh. I mean, I always like her and things she does. I think she's quite a classy actress, really, or actor, as they all are now. Jeff Goldblum, who wouldn't love him? I think he's fantastic, and he did a really good job of the wizard. And even though he's, you know, he's always such a likable character, you did get this kind of sense of something about him that could kind of switch to someone who wasn't quite so nice after all. Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero, he was great. Had the character really down. You know, the way that he kind of strides onto the scene. He just had this real charisma with his character, which is what that character actually needs. It needs the charisma and anyone would do anything for him. So I thought that was great. And of course he's got an amazing voice, but he has got a background in kind of theatre as well, Western theatre and Broadway and things. So he was perfect, I think, in the role of Prince. I think some people sometimes argue, is he maybe a bit too old as the Prince? But actually, I didn't mind that, and that wasn't my automatic thought. My automatic thought was just actually he played the character really well and sounded great. So it didn't occur to me at first that he might be too old for the role. I can see why some people might think that, but it didn't bother me. It didn't ruin it for me. I really liked him in it. So then you've got Ariana Grande. So I thought, and actually I've spoken to a couple of people, and a few people thought the same thing here. So, you know, it's not just me. I think her acting, she was brilliant. She had the character of Galinda really, really, really down pat. I thought she was really, really good. So that's a lot of reallys in one sentence there. But no, I did like her acting. I thought it was great. And she has got a fantastic voice. And I mean, who am I to say that she hasn't? She has got a fantastic voice. But I did find, particularly in the first bit when she was really having to sing sort of in a soprano top range, that because her voice can be quite nasal, I couldn't really hear everything she was saying. I couldn't understand everything she was saying with the pronunciation, and I found that in a couple of her other songs as well, that her voice was quite nasal rather than that kind of belt Broadway West End. And I know that the role of Galinda does need someone who has a really operatic range. It's a slightly different style of singing maybe to your belt voices, but yeah, you could notice when you had her against other singers, you could kind of notice the ones who had that Broadway training, and she just hadn't. So I did notice that, but that's not to say that I didn't like her voice and that I didn't like the way she was singing. I did actually. I thought, you know, when she sang Popular, I really liked it, and her voice gelled really nicely with Cynthia's as well. So I thought the two of them together, their characters did match really, really nicely. You know, Defying Gravity was amazing with the two of them singing, but you know, with other songs as well. So I didn't dislike Ariana Grande. I did actually quite like her in the role. But like I said, for me, it was the characterization that she had down pat. I thought that was really, really nice. And actually it was her that made sure that they kept I believe it was her that she made sure that they kept the words in The Wizard Will See You Now in One Short Day. Because obviously there were some things that they had to cut out because it's direct address to the audience and it doesn't quite work when you're on film. So they had to make some changes, but I think she insisted on that one staying in. So that was really good. And then you go on to Cynthia. I think Cynthia Erivo. I always get her surname wrong. Yeah, Erivo, sorry. I always say it's Erivo and it's Erivo. Cynthia Erivo. She was phenomenal. She was really phenomenal in the role. And I think one thing that you get from her character watching it on a movie rather than when you go to the theatre is because they can do close-ups. When she was at the dance, and it's the first time that Glinda, Glinda's been given her wand, and it's the first time that she kind of, I think, sticks up for Elphaba, and where they become friends, where they have that connection. They were able to do sort of a close-up on Elphaba, and you could see, the sadness and what she was feeling at the time, and it was a defiance, but it was a defiance in the face of just feeling so alone and sad. And because you had these close-ups, you were able to pick up on that, which was, it just added a different dynamic to it, actually. It really made me kind of just go, oh gosh, really feel for that particular character, which was great. And I think there are a lot of moments like that where you could, because you had the close-ups, you could engage a bit more with the characters. And I think when she was also singing Defying Gravity, like I said, phenomenal voice. And me and my two boys, we all three of us said that we got chills during that song, which I wasn't expecting when I went to see this film. And we just got real chills. It was just a real moment of, wow, that's lovely. And I think there were some bits that were slightly more drawn out in that song, but again, I think that's because it has to go with the cinematography and the stunt work, whereas you can't really get away with that when it's on stage. It has to keep the kind of pace and things going. So yeah, I loved that song. It did just make you go, whew, that was great. So yeah, I think the bottom line is I really did enjoy this film for so many different reasons. I would certainly recommend anyone going to see it. My sons were saying they thought probably a 4.5 out of 5 for this particular movie, and there's part of me that's going, yeah, it could be 4.5 out of 5. But you know what? Actually, I can't really think, other than just the nasal bit in Ariana Grande's voice, I can't think why I wouldn't give it a 5. And I feel actually a bit mean giving it a 4.5, just because I'm not so keen on her voice in those parts, when actually it was a really good film. So do you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5, and because I haven't been able to stop thinking about it all week, I've really, I keep coming back to it and thinking about bits that I liked, and watching sort of little bits online, and like I said, watching the documentary, which again, I think it would be good to watch that maybe before you go, because then I think you can appreciate, there's some bits that you can appreciate a little bit more. So yes, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I will happily watch it when it comes out in Sky, and I will probably watch it time and time again, and no doubt will be one of the first people in line to try and go and see it when the second part comes out in a year's time. And I'm really looking forward to that. So that's my review on Wicked. I'd love to know what you thought about it, so do let me know in the comments below. If you like my reviews, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I've got other reviews on there as well, so have a quick look at those. Some are short, some are long. You might like my rambling, you might not. But anyway, I loved Wicked. I hope you do too, and I hope you have a lovely day. Take care. Bye.